everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our more learning session. Can you hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, can you send a thumbs up? Thumbs up. Again, sorry for waiting. We had technical difficulties a while ago, so thank you for waiting. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time and joining us today in our training titled Mental Health for Remote Workers, Balancing Productivity and Wellness in Today's Work Setup. My name is Glyza Ilagan. I am the head of business operations and an internal coach at More Staffing. Chat box your name, industry, and your intention for this webinar, and we'll see if we can address those intentions today. I'll give that like a minute. All right, so I think we can proceed now. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today. She's a mental health practitioner. She provides for clarity and peace. And today she will share key concepts and practical ways to minimize distractions, improve productivity, and strengthen internal balance in any situation. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our speaker, Ms. Danyel.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me, guys? If you can you please drop a 1? Naririnig naman ako.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be joining with my camera in a bit. I'm just having technical difficulties with my laptop at the moment. So, but anyway, I appreciate you guys waiting and, allotting this time to be in this talk. So we'll discuss a bit about the technical side of mental health before we actually try to apply this in your current situation. Since most of you guys are freelancers, I actually prepared a worksheet that is very helpful and customized for freelancers. But anyway, before we start this talk, I really want us to set our intentions. So I ask you to set intentions so that we understand your purpose in being here. Leave here with a deeper understanding of you. We become more proactive that are in how we want to live it. So parang it's about taking accountability for our actions and having reasons for being in any given situations that we choose to be in. So this is actually gonna help us be more at peace, less overwhelmed, we can say, when we intentionally tell ourselves our purpose, our intention in our every move. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes to write down why did you attend this talk. You don't have to share it, but please write it down. So in your own journal or on a piece of paper, or you can type it down. I'll discuss with you guys. I'll discuss it with you guys the purpose of actually setting intentions more later. All right. So aside from your intentions, I'd like to know, how are you today? Drop your answers on the comment, kahit ano lang, one word to describe how you are feeling today. Excited for the weekend. Thank you, Edna. Who else? How are you guys today? Happy and productive. Thank you, Crystal. So I'm exhausted, Maricel. It's end of the week, so pwede na tayo mag-celebrate. Pahinga ka. Grateful. Thank you for answering. Eager to learn. Super awesome. That's amazing. I hope every day super awesome yung feeling natin lahat, diba? Feeling accomplished. That's really great to hear. And for those na hindi makaisip ng positive descriptor sa kanilang nararamdaman today, that's okay as well. In love, sana all. Sino pa dito yung in love? Si James lang ba? James, ikaw lang yata yung in love. So if you know, a lot of you guys answered a lot of positive descriptors about how you're feeling. And also, if you don't feel like most of the people here na sobrang excited, sobrang positive, that's also okay. And I know that some of us actually feel some overwhelm regardless, especially with our current situation sa work, diba? And it's okay if you just feel like you just managed today. So, minsan ba nafe-feel ninyo na in denial kayo sa totoong nararamdaman nyo? Drop a 5 kung guilty kayo. Sino dito yung nagigilty minsan na in denial sa kanilang totoong nararamdaman? O, diba? Marami rin. Ilan? 4 lang? Anyway, okay, let's start with the discussion. So I just had to do that icebreaker para, I want you guys to participate throughout this webinar. I will be asking you questions similar to what I did a few minutes ago. Para medyo interactive siya, para hindi lang ako yung nagsasalita. So kahit na hindi kayo nagsasalita, I want you guys to actually proactively listen to what I'm saying so you understand. Feel free to ask questions, and we will also have a Q&A after this talk so that I can help you kind of clear out what is it that is bothering you that is related to mental health. Hindi po ako relationship doctor. So yung sa about mental health lang and personal growth yung tatanong niyo sa akin. So our objectives for today are actually all interrelated to each other. So kahit na there's 5 on the slide, it's always gonna be about mental health. So that's part na dun yung psychological balance natin, being productive, tackling overwhelm, improving our productivity, diba? So medyo serious topic yung mental health, but some of us have already been too tense at work. So again, I want you to be active during the webinar, and we'll try to keep things as easy to understand and light as I can so that, mas madali natin mag-grasp yung concept. Understood? Naintindihan niyo ba ako? Drop a 3 kung naintindihan niyo yung sinabi ko. Ayan, I love it. Thank you so much. Okay. Next slide. Okay, 6 aspects of life. So ito yung pinaka-base concept ng mental health. Actually, it all revolves around these 6 topics. So autonomy, purpose in life, self-acceptance, healthy relationship, having social interaction, and of course, personal growth. So all of these aspects have varying theories and studies focused on them. But they are not necessarily separated from each other, similar to our objectives for today. So like our mind, the aspects of our lives are actually interconnected. So next slide, please. So essentials of a positive mental health. I want to make a disclaimer first before discussing this further. I am a mental health practitioner, understanding behavioral psychology, and I don't do diagnostic psychiatry, so that's 2 different things, you guys. So modern applied psychologists like me, what we do is we practice understanding the behavior of a person and helping people understand themselves, thus helping them grow. So psychologists like me, what I practice, we don't really diagnose people. So just to make it clear ha, para lang, kasi we're always confused with psychiatrists. So hindi kami nagbibigay ng medications, hindi kami nagda-diagnose ng mental health condition. We're just trying to understand our clients or the people we talk to about their behavior in their current situations, ganun. So magkaiba yun sa psychiatrist. So now let's look at the essentials of our life in mental health that will help us understand ourselves better to grow and essentially build a strong and robust mental health understanding of ourselves. So we'll start with yung una is so vision and goal setting. Having this one is very essential, kaya siya nakalagay sa number 1. Actually, in books and in theory, this is number 4. Pero I really believe, and what was taught to me kasi, is priority talaga to. Kaya siya nakalagay sa number 1, and that's what we're actually trying to practice. So essentially, again, this is the same as intention setting, pero more long term. So yung intention setting, it is very short term. So in a matter of an hour, you can set an intention. You can set even an intention pag manunod ka ng Netflix, ganon. So what is your intention of watching a Netflix series or a movie? It's to relax or to entertain yourself. So ganun ka short term yung intention sometimes. Pero vision and goal setting, it's our long-term pananaw or our outlook in life. Kumbaga, this is important to us for us to learn how we can be more effective and better ourselves by having a direction and a goal in mind. So, eto, question again. Have you ever felt like you're stuck or frustrated as there is no destination or walang saysay yung mga ginagawa niyo minsan? Drop a 5 kung na-feel nyo na to ever sa life niyo or na-feel nyo siya ngayon. Marami sa atin, no? I think everyone has felt this in their life. So, most of the time, pag ganito yung nararamdaman natin, kasi we lack that understanding of our vision, or sometimes we lack having the vision itself. What we often see is that when a person doesn't have an end goal in mind, so, we go round and round in circles kasi hindi natin na-apply yung vision natin sa daily tasks natin, sa mga to-dos natin. So, hindi natin siya nako-connect with where we want to go. So, think about the time that you have set a goal for yourself. Maybe, when you were in college, struggling to finish your thesis, struggling to, to submit your requirements para sa last sem ninyo para makagraduate na kayo. You have a goal, di ba? It's to pass or to finish college. Do you remember that feeling once it was approved, yung thesis ninyo, or na-release na yung grades ninyo, or may confirmation na kayong gagraduate na kayo? It's actually not happiness that you feel. Happiness doesn't justify the feeling. It is fulfillment kasi you had that goal. So, yung happiness, it's part of the fulfillment, pero it's not the end feeling that you feel. It is fulfillment that is actually what you feel when you have a goal. So, at that time, it is to pass or to graduate, diba? So next is ability to self-regulate. So this idea is about self-awareness. Self-awareness precedes personal growth. So bago tayo mag-grow in our personal careers, ganon, social careers, we have to be able to understand ourselves better. So we can only grow when we are aware of the areas that we can grow. This actually is the first step in order for us to also influence other people. So ang pinakamalayo niyan is social influence. That's the biggest circle. Pero where are we gonna start in order to influence other people? If we want to be that, if that's our goal, is to be an influential an influential person, or a leader that people look up to, we have to actually understand ourselves first and be able to look up to ourselves before others can look up to us. So although sometimes pabalik-balik tayo, so we sometimes feel na influential tayo, we have a lot of friends, we have self-discipline, pero we're always gonna go back to our awareness, our ability to actually understand ourselves in order for us to be to exponentially grow as a person, in order for us to lead better. So what you'll realize is that as you grow in awareness, that there's no one else in the world that can actually take anything from us as humans. So this concept was actually refreshed during, was it Jackie, was it last week ba yun? We were on a group coaching session when the guest speaker, Sir Gary Bowles, actually mentioned something along the lines of, don't worry about other people's permission. Because what's important is your permission. Your permission is is that you want to grow, how you want to do it, and how you want to change. So let that sink in. So once you actually start to embody this concept of not allowing other people's permission but yourselves, once you start to embody this concept, that's when you should that's actually along the lines of prioritizing yourself, having that self-regulation, and I guarantee you, pag nagawa ninyo yung self-awareness part sa life ninyo, everything else will come not easy throughout, but easier than before. Okay, next slide. So the third one is mature sense of identity. So sino na dito? This is actually medyo private question, and it's okay if you don't want to answer or it's very personal for you. So who here has been diagnosed with any illnesses? Drop a 1 kung meron na. Actually, anything. It's not just about mental health. Kung ano man ang na-diagnose sa'yo ng doctor or whatever. Have you ever been diagnosed with anything? Meron. So this is actually related to what I mentioned about, the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. So sometimes yung diagnosis, it can actually limit people. This is a bit controversial, pero I want to share this with you so you can understand what I'm saying. So I have this client who had the plan on migrating before. Gusto niyang mag-work sa UK. And she actually wants to pursue her dreams, move to the UK first and then maybe move to Paris. But what was limiting her at that time was her parents. Ang reasoning ng parents niya is, you can't move to another country by yourself because you have PCOS. So mga girls, lumalaki na yung awareness natin sa PCOS, di ba? So there's a lot of side effects na kasama with this diagnosis. But, in any diagnosis actually limiting us to have that mature sense of identity. Any diagnosis, even diabetes, even especially mental health conditions. So depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar, ADD, ADHD, those things actually limit us. In what way, you ask? In a way that we actually just do our work around that topic. Kumbaga, okay, I will do this because I have ADHD. Okay, I will not do this because I have depression. So, hindi naman sinasabi that it's not helping us to be able to diagnose different symptoms, different illnesses. But what is wrong is that we allow that to stop us in pursuing our dreams and actually actualizing ourselves in a way na hindi natin nare-realize yung dreams natin because sometimes yung diagnosis na yon ina-allow natin to limit us. Naget nyo ba yon? So again, in another term, what I actually want you to understand is that you are not your imperfections. Same way you're not your job title, same way you're not your gender identity, same way you're not just a mom, you are a mom. Sa mga moms dito, ganon. So, I'll actually share with you now, nandyan ba yung worksheet natin na first? So next slide. Yan. Okay, I'll share with you this worksheet. This is a very simple worksheet. 1 page lang to. We can answer this for a few minutes or we can look into it. Can we share the link to this worksheet with the participants? So we can answer this anytime. Pwede nating ulit-ulitin to answeran like once a year, once every 6 months, when we need or when we question ourselves or identity, ganon. So we actually need to understand our whole identity and our whole truth. So marami kasing factors that involves identifying our true selves. Hindi lang siya sa natapos natin sa college, hindi lang siya sa diagnosis natin, hindi lang siya sa pagkatao natin, but also, we don't often use our values to describe ourselves, which is very important. Instead of saying na I'm a freelancer, pwede natin dagdagan yon na I'm a freelancer, I'm a constant learner, I'm continuously trying to grow in my career. So, para exponential yung description natin sa sarili natin. Meron na ba lahat copy ng worksheet? Drop a 3 kung nakita nyo na yung worksheet. Meron na, yung iba wala pa. Everyone, meron ng copy ng worksheet. Okay, so if you can see that worksheet, it actually, the way we identify ourselves actually comes in 3 and 6 actually, parang with 6 questions. So our actual selves, who am I in truth? Actually, for me, this was the hardest to answer. Kasi hindi ko alam, how do I answer this question, diba? Especially on the first time that I actually answered this worksheet by myself. Our ideal self, who I aspire to be. So, sino yung mga inspiration ko in life? Ano yung gusto ko maging? We can use people actually as guide. Kung sino, who you look up to, kumbaga. So you can use that as descriptors to describe who you aspire to be. Next one is our social self. This is probably the easiest one to answer among the 6 questions. Or if hindi nyo siya alam paano sagutin, you ask your friends. So, hindi, actually sarili nyo pa rin to kasi yung question is who I pretend to be in public. So, minsan, iba-iba yung personalities na pinapakita natin depende sa tao na kasama natin, depende sa group of friends, diba? Sometimes we act differently when we're in front of our parents. Sometimes we act differently when we're with our college friends, with our workmates. So, you answer that, pwede nyo ilista lahat, pwedeng one-word descriptions lang, ganun. The next one is the role or the persona I relate to the most. Again, eto, pwede natin itong gawin guideline kung sino ba yung ina-aspire natin, kung si Oprah ba yan, kung si Bill Gates ba yan, or whoever it is na may autobiography online, we can actually use them as guide, as people who we relate to. Ganon. Next one is how I feel about how I define myself. So ito yung kanina ko pang dinidiscuss. So, a few questions, diba? 6 questions lang yan to identify our truth. So, again, who I am in truth, who I aspire to be, who I pretend to be in public, the role and the persona that I relate to the most. So you answer these questions. Next is how I feel about how I define myself. So this might be one of the most uncomfortable questions that you'll answer among this. Why I say that is because sometimes the way we define ourselves and then we have to say it to other people, sometimes that actually makes us uncomfortable, diba? So, yun. You can answer uncomfortable, the way you define yourselves. Minsan kasi, we have this mentality in the Philippines na if we say all the things that we have done in life, we are called, we may be labeled as mayabang. Diba? When in fact, we're just actually stating the truth. So the last one is who I want to be known as by others. So, medyo similar to sa who I pretend to be in public kasi nagpe-pretend tayo sa public. With a personality na sino ba tayo sa paningin ng iba? Ano ba yung gusto nating makita ng ibang tao sa atin? Ano ba yung personality na yon? 'Di ba? So take a look at these questions and actually think kung ano yung magiging hardest question for you to answer. And will actually help you. I'll help you navigate through these questions later after this webinar. We'll have a bit of time to do Q&As. And then you can ask a few questions. Pero like, take a look at the questions. Ano yung pinakamahirap for you sagutin sa 6 na yan? Who I aspire to be. Sige, we'll discuss that more after this, the whole technical side of this talk, ha?
Okay, guys, can you see me? I'm here. Okay, we'll talk about that, yung questions dito sa worksheet na to. We'll talk more about that after the whole technical side of this talk. Okay, can we go back to the slide, please? So, after ng mature sense of identity, we'll talk about strength, consistency, decisiveness, and responsibility. So, actually, this is something na will make us, parang ito yung medyo matagal i-practice. So, because if we don't grow in these aspects of our lives, then we're just gonna go round and round in circles. Like I said kanina, di ba? Kasi we have to have that strength. We have to have that consistency. Having that mature thinking and mentality in order to decide what is best for us. And also being able to take responsibility. Diba? So next one is we'll talk about awareness to grow. So this is, again, everything here is very related to each other, diba? So this is what I'm talking about again kanina while using labels. So awareness to grow. So if we continue to define ourselves by our labels, we're actually not allowing ourselves to grow. So this might seem odd and still sometimes I don't do it. Kasi again, I'm still also on that process of that journey to grow and to grow my self-awareness, kumbaga. So I don't do this often, but I try to consciously practice this when I have to or when I on that active pursuit of self-awareness actually. So every time I talk about this, I'm reminded of what I'm lacking in my journey and I'm aware na kulang pa ako dun sa self-awareness. Hence, I'm very humbled when I actually discuss this topic with people. So let's try to add virtues when we describe ourselves. So what virtues do you think describes you? Kumbaga, example,
Ilan ba dito yung mom sa atin? Drop a 1 if you're a mom or a dad. Mom represents. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Okay, love it. 1.5. Okay, so for example, for moms, di ba pag tinatanong tayo about, tell me something about yourself, what we always say is, I'm a mom, ganyan. Mom of 2, blah, 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 they're 3 and 5. And we actually describe our kids sometimes more than we describe ourselves, di ba? So, for example, ako hindi pa ako mom, pero mom ako ng maraming adopted kids. So, medyo mom rin ako. So, pwede rin ako mag-drop ng 1 dyan sa comments kasi medyo mom ako. So, kunwari ako, hi, I'm Danielle. I'm a loving mom. I'm a mental health practitioner who is also a growing serial entrepreneur. So, see how I actually use descriptors, virtues. So, kayo, can you think of a virtue that describes you? Can you, if you can think of a virtue that describes yourself, drop it on the chat. Googling virtue. Honest, mga ano ba, compassionate, fair leader, kumbaga, ganon. Honesty, courage, compassionate, committed, I love that. Ano pa? So think about like the virtues that actually describes you more than yung label na binibigay sa atin ng other people lang. So I want you to actually be able to embody that more than the label itself. So that's what I'm talking about when I actually say having that mature sense of identity. Kasi sometimes nga, it limits us when we just talk about our work. Sometimes kasi yun yung nagiging pinaka-main descriptors natin sa sarili natin is what we are doing to get money or to our career. Yun yung nagiging descriptor natin. When in fact, hindi lang yun yung something that actually describes our whole identity. So having that awareness of who we are, not just our labels, actually helps us grow and actually parang skyrockets our potential to actually grow. Next one is accurate thinking skills. So for accurate thinking skills, something that I wish that we teach kids in school is actually having a better thinking skills in developing our growth mindset. So this is vital for people who get overwhelmed, angry, or anxious. Resilient, di katulad ng iba dyan. Char ulit. So, okay. So, dito sa accurate thinking skills. So, again, this is something I really wanted to be taught in school. So, I'm actually in discussion with one preschool here in our area that we actually have personal development na rin and mindset development for kids, which is actually a good step kasi dapat, and I wish na buong country or buong mundo tinuturo to sa bata is having that growth mindset, starting them young, kumbaga. So this is actually very vital. Yeah, again, for people na madaling ma-overwhelm. Sino dito yung madaling ma-overwhelm? Drop out 2 in the comment box. Wala. Ayun, meron. Sino dito yung madaling magalit? Drop a 3 kung madali kang magalit. 9. Oh. Sino dito yung sometimes they feel worried palagi or anxious palagi? Ganon. Drop a 5 kung warrior ka sa life. Mabilis kang mag-worry. Ayan. So, having this thinking skills na very accurate is something that actually will help us minimize these feelings, yung overwhelm, yung anger, yung anxiety, yung sometimes feeling isolated all the time. what I'm saying is when we develop a better thinking skills, it's actually helping us grow. And balik tayo sa kanina, in strength, consistency, decisiveness, and responsibility, because we are able to think more maturely by using our wise mind. So ano ba yung wise mind na yan? Nandun ba yan sa next slide? Next pa po. Next pa. Diyan yata siya. Ayan, share ko muna sa inyo yung wise mind before we discuss the next two. So wise mind is a combination of our rational mind. Ano ba yung rational mind? Yan yung matalino nating decision-making mind natin, kumbaga. So, puro fact-based, puro logical thinking, everything should be decided from reasoning, kumbaga. Tapos, we also have their emotional mind. Yung sa kabila naman is, being reactive, having poor reasoning, and using our actually, ito yung sinasabi nila mind and heart, di ba? So, what do you use to decide? Are you a mind decision maker or are you a heart decision maker? 'Di ba ito yung laging ginagamit na pang-describe dun sa dalawa is the mind and the heart. How do you decide? So when actually having the combination of two is actually the best one. Is having that balance between the rational mind and the emotional mind. So that's our wise mind. So having that balance, mindful living. So we use judgment. However, we also have emotions involved. So balance in logic and feelings. So once we are able to use our wise mind more subconsciously, because sometimes when we start to grow, everything we have to think about. So since now that I'm discussing this concept, kumbaga, you will actually be able to apply some of these learnings in your personal life. Pero you always have to think about it first. Na kumbaga, I have to apply this pala kasi sabi ganito daw para maging healthy yung mind ko. Pero later on, as time goes by, na mas lalong siyang ina-apply, you will be able to use these concepts in your subconscious mind, and sometimes unconsciously mo na rin siya naggagawa, which is actually our goal, na hindi na natin pag-iisipan na na-embody na pala natin yung essentials of a healthy mental health, di ba? So, yeah. So, having that capability of using our wise minds is actually something, what we're talking about, having that accurate thinking skills. So, balik po tayo dun sa 2 slides. Yan, attitude in life. So, the next one is, very important to, especially sa atin, for me, especially sa atin mga freelancers. Sometimes kasi, as a freelancer, you always think na, shit, may trabaho ba ako bukas? Ay, sorry, nagmumula. So parang, especially dun sa mga contract-based na wala tayong job security. So, minsan, yung attitude natin sa trabaho, we're not putting our best foot forward, kumbaga. Sometimes yung workmate natin, hindi natin feel. So, nag-attitude tayo, di ba? Sometimes nag-attitude yung mga workmate natin sa atin, which actually brings our emotions down, na parang nakakawalang gana magtrabaho, di ba? So, it's the difference in our egos as well, kumbaga. Life should be what it should be. Or, parang, okay, so yun yung what did I say? Sorry. Life should be what it should be, or I allow myself to live in a life whatever the external situation is. So merong mga tao na ganun mag-isip na life should be what it should be. Ibig sabihin, very, very egotistical in a sense, kasi gusto nila lahat ng gusto nila masusunod. Meron ding mga tao, most of these people are the ones na medyo mas deep into their self-awareness journey. Sila yung nagsasabi na, I allow myself to live in a life, whatever the external situation is. So ito yung mga taong hindi na madaling matrigger. Sino dito madaling matrigger sa life? Drop a 3. Kung madali kang matrigger sa buhay. Sasalamin na ako ha, kasi medyo in denial ako na blind ako, pero blind na talaga ako. Pinipilit ko lang na hindi magsalamin. Okay. So, yung attitude natin sa buhay, minsan nagbabago siya, di ba? Sometimes we're very positive, sometimes we're very negative, sometimes parang wala na lang tayong pakialam, di ba? Having this good attitude in life, that not necessarily always positive attitude in life, but a good and healthy attitude in life is actually having definitive expectations of everything that happens. Then, you know, mali pala yun, sorry. So, not having a good attitude in life is having that definitive expectations of everything that happens. Parang lagi tayo nag-expect ng sobra-sobra. So, ganun din sa relationships, di ba? Pag nag-expect tayo ng sobra sa partners natin, we oftentimes become disappointed. Pero what is the difference between that attitude and also a healthy attitude? Healthy attitude, what I'm saying is allowing ourselves to just experience whatever is presented in front of us. So, where we actually grow to appreciate life more and more. So, hindi lang siya, kasi we have this plan, and then hindi nasusunod yung plan natin. So, nagagalit na tayo sa other people involved, or sometimes the universe. Dito yung madaling sisihin si universe. Ako, before, ganun ako, na sinisisi ko yung universe and other people as well for whatever it is that's happening, na hindi nasusunod yung plano ko. Pero now, since I'm aware of what it is to have that healthy mental health, parang ito yung mga tao na may pagka-happy-go-lucky in life. So, they are less worried, they are less anxious. Again, balik tayo dun sa kanina, sa accurate thinking skills, na less overwhelmed yung mga ganitong tao, less angry, less feeling isolated pag ganun yung attitude nila sa life. So, kasi sometimes when we can put these expectations aside, we can actually start to appreciate what it is that we're experiencing more. So, and actually, I'll go back as well to what I was reminded of parang last week as well in one of our group coaching session. So, parang sometimes we have a plan in our career, diba? Tapos din sa career plan natin, minsan hindi natutupad yung career plan natin. Kumbaga, honari, I wanted to be a doctor when I was growing up. Nang 3 years old pala ako, sinabi ko na siya sa mom ko, I want to be a doctor, mom. And the reason behind it is, I don't want my mom to die. I was 3 years old when I said that. So I didn't know that people die pala talaga when they're old. Akala ko yung mga namamatay lang, yung mga hindi na-cure. So I wanted to be a doctor. Pero, again, there was that period in my life na parang sa iba ako na-expose, kumbaga. Business kasi yung family ko. So I was exposed in the business world. So I was given that opportunity kahit ayoko na ma-expose sa business. So kahit na hindi siya part ng plano ko, I allowed myself to experience what it is that was presented in front of me. And I actually enjoy it. Sometimes we find our passion in the most unexpected things. Like, for me, it wasn't part of my plan to be a mental health practitioner. But, okay, recorded tong session na to, no? Admin, recorded ba to? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, I'll be honest with you guys. I want you to, I want this to be a safe space for us. Kahit na some of us don't know each other, kayo, hindi nyo rin naman ako kilala personally, some of you. But I want this to be a safe space and I want to be transparent with you guys. Ako, I didn't plan to become a mental health practitioner until later in my years. Wow, kala mo tanda ako na, diba? Later in my years. So, I was diagnosed at an early age with bipolar disorder. And I have been to a lot of psychiatrists, 5 psychiatrists, psychologists, even mga neuro doctors. Yan, marami na ako napuntahan. Pero again, I couldn't understand myself what it is that I was going through. What's on my mind, ganun. Kasi binibigyan lang ako ng medications. But the medications, they're helping me calm down, but they're not helping me understand who I am as a person. So that's why that negative aspect in my life, I use that as my power, and I studied to become a mental health practitioner in order for me to understand myself. Para lang talaga sa sarili ko nung una to. Pero again, I was exposed to this to this study, to this science na, the mental health science, kumbaga. And I used that experience in order to help other people as well. Where I found my passion is to help other people through understanding themselves also, having other people actualize their potential through self-understanding and self-development is actually something that I wasn't planning on. Pero again, I allowed myself to experience what was in front of me and what was presented to me. That's where I found my passion. So parang yun, having that attitude na let's see where this path takes me. And actually sometimes that's the healthiest way to actually get to your goal. Yeah. Last one is communication, people, and social skills. So communication not just to others, but also to ourselves. So if we're not learning how to be better communicators to ourselves, then we're not going to be able to better relate to others. Sino dito ang nag-identify sa sarili nila as introvert? Drop a 1 kung introvert ka, drop a 5 kung extrovert ka. Ako 1 ako eh. I'm an introvert. Oy, mix tayo dito. So for introverts, it's actually harder to talk to other people, diba? Kasi sometimes we prefer to be alone. Actually, some extroverts as well prefer to be alone at times. So when we are able to talk to ourselves, kahit na sabihin natin introvert tayo or mahiyain tayo, sino dito mahiyain? Meron ako mahiyain ako eh. May mga mahiyain ba dito? Drop a 6 kung mahiyain kayo. Wow, shy type. May mga shy type tayo dito. So para dun sa mga mahiyain or introverts, actually most of us actually, when we're not able to have that confidence to talk to ourselves, mas mahirap makipag-usap sa ibang tao, di ba? What I'm saying is, this is actually, I want to share with you something, especially dyan sa isa inyo mga mahihiyain people. Sometimes kasi, yung pagiging mahihiyain natin, it's actually closely related to us having low self-confidence. Okay? This practice is taught, I think it was started by Mel Robbins. Asawa siya ni, anong pangalan ng guy na yon? Anong name nun? It's on the tip of my tongue. Anong pangalan ng guy na yun? Si Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
Okay, thank you so much for answering. Nasa tip ng tongue ko. So Mel Robbins actually talked about this on her book. So yung mirror talk. So yung high-five yourself on the mirror, di ba? So para to increase your self-confidence. So they actually had a study about this. So nagkaroon ng mga trials about this one, how effective it is. And it's actually very effective. And it's something that I actually share to a lot of people as well. And having good feedback. So parang somehow gumagawin ako ng sarili kong study kung it helps other people as well. So ako noon, hindi ako ganito ka-outspoken when I was just starting out in my career and everything else. So I actually used that for myself as well in order for me to develop my self-confidence and be able to be more confident talking not just to myself but also to others. So I want you to try that. So you just high-five yourself in the mirror in the morning, or sometimes you can talk to yourself in the mirror in the morning. Say positive affirmations to yourself. Say a lot of good things about who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go. I've actually put a sticky note on my mirror para, tapos binabasa ko yung mga affirmations na yun. Sometimes I change it, ganyan. Pag medyo feeling ko na-acquire ko na yung level of confidence ko in terms of that, whatever it is that was written on my post-it sa wall ko, as a mirror ko. So again, going back, communication, people, and social skills. So we should be able to communicate with ourselves. Number one, being honest. Sa mga nagsabi dito na minsan nagpapanggap sila ng about sa kanilang na-feel, we actually need to shift our mindset away from that. Because it's not helping us be self-actualized or self-aware. Kasi pag hindi na tayo nakaka-communicate honestly with ourselves, it's actually harder to trust other people. It's actually harder to be vulnerable, not just to ourselves, but also to others. And having that vulnerability actually helps us connect with people better. So, hindi lang to sa partners ninyo, sa kids ninyo, sa family ninyo, but also to the people na katrabaho ninyo, which is actually gonna help you kung nandun ba kayo sa path ng career growth. So having a communication skill is very important talaga. So again, let's go back. So vision and goal setting, ability to self-regulate, mature sense of identity, strength, consistency, decisiveness and responsibility, awareness to grow, accurate thinking skills, attitude in life, communication, people, and social skills. So all of these are important in having to achieve that positive mental health in order to have our psychological balance. Because all of these factors affect not only our mental state, but also our emotional state. Again, to go back, yun nga, having these are important factors in order to actually also be able to develop using or utilizing our wise mind. So our goal is to use or to utilize our wise mind more than just deciding logically or, acting up because of our emotions. Kaya actually nasa next slide yung wise mind is because it actually comes down to that, is being able to use next slide please, is being able to use our wise mind. Okay, before we go to the next topic, I actually want, but how many people are in this group? So we have 20 people. Can we divide it in 4 groups? 4 break rooms, kung pwede.
Okay.
So I want you guys to be able to discuss what it is that is hard for you among these essentials to positive mental health. Ano yung sa inyo? Ano yung sa tingin ninyo magsa-struggle kayo the most i-develop kumbaga? So I just want you guys to be able to banter around throw around some ideas regarding these topics. Kasi mamaya meron tayong mga points na meron pala tayong mga, kumbaga, another person may have an idea on how to help us kumbaga, pull that out of the mahirap na i-develop. Tama ba yung sinabi ko? So parang, kumbaga, throwing around ideas, maybe they have suggestions or maybe they have ideas. Maybe it's some, okay, ano ba yung nasabi ko? Okay, maybe what is hard for you is easier for someone else. Maybe what's hard for them is easier for you. So having another person's perspective might actually help us na hindi tayo masyadong mahirapan when it comes to tackling that part of a positive mental health, kumbaga. So this is just gonna be like a quick, healthy discussion with one another. Kasi we're all here naman to actually trying to improve ourselves, diba? So ayun, we'll divide this into 4 groups. Actually 3 groups na lang pala.
3.
Great. Okay. See you guys in mga 6-7 minutes. I'll visit some of the rooms para can join in the discussions as well. Goal setting to na worksheet na it's actually called Love Your Reality Worksheet. So we'll share this with you later siguro so that you'll have a copy of that. And yeah. And just to close the talk, I want to share this with you guys. Don't be too hard on yourself. Again, naulit-ulit ko talaga yan, is be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. Kasi nobody can be, nobody can love yourself more than you yourself. So enjoy whatever it is that you're going through. Enjoy the journey, whether it's terrible or not. I don't know, kilala niyo ba si Nightbird sa America's Got Talent? Meron nakakilala sino ba to?
Yes.
Meron, 'di ba? So I actually watched her audition kahapon, and actually it reminded me of this quote. It's not what she said, pero it's something related to what she said. So add years to your life and add life to your years. So you don't have to wait for life to be okay in order for you to enjoy the now, kumbaga. So whatever it is that you're going through, hindi necessarily that you have to be positive, but you can enjoy it even though it's not the best situation that where you want to be. We're actually over time na kasi I was late. Do you guys have any questions? If you do, ask them, or sige, we'll do a few questions, and then maybe you guys can reach out to me if you want to discuss more about, mental health or productivity work as well. So meron bang may mga questions?
Hi, Daniel. Yes. Yeah, before we proceed with the QA part, I'd like to request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a quick photo op. All right.
Wait, pwedeng pa,
Ay,
muna,
sandali, wait lang.
Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay.
Si Tin nasa outer space.
Saan ka punta?
Papuntang Mars si Tin.
Driving.
So yeah, thank you. If you have questions, this is your time to send them. Just send them, drop them in the chat box, and Daniel will try to answer them for you guys.
Wala.
It means
Ala, ano yun?
dalawa lang pala yung ibig sabihin.
Ano, nandito ba yun?
Maybe ako just a comment. The first one, the first part, yung feeling stuck when you ask that, parang that's really my state right now, sharing with everyone. And then you mentioned about happiness and the difference between happiness and fulfillment, because I can say that I'm happy, but maybe I'm looking for the fulfillment that I am, parang I set goals and it's like it's not happening right now since I've given birth, tapos may postpartum and all that. So parang this workshop parang very enlightening for me. So thank you for that, Miss Daniel. I really appreciate it. For sure, I'm gonna rewatch this kasi medyo on-off yung internet connection ko. So yeah, that's it for me. Just a comment. It's really good.
Thank you.
Quick question lang.
Yeah.
Whenever you feel overwhelmed, what's the first thing that you do?
Stop what you're doing. Talaga yung first. Okay. It's actually something I wanted to add here kasi sabi ko baka mag-overtime ako pag nilagay ko siya. It's literally stop. I'll share this with you kasi yan, tinanong ni Kirsty. Very good. I love it. Saan ba yun? Okay. It's the stop pattern. As in S-T-O. Okay. Hindi pala siya literally stop. Kasi it's S-T-O-P-P. So letter S is say stop. Literally, sabi mo sa is okay, stop. So to yourself, in your head, notice just, stop thinking about anything. Let your body not move. Or basta wag ka munang gumawa na iba. Allow yourself to be in that undesired state of overwhelm. Number 2 is T. Take a breath. So again, yung iba, when they feel overwhelmed, they sleep. Nagpapahinga sila. So that's a good step as well. Ako, I just take a breath kasi pag nagnap ako, hindi na ako makakatulog sa gabi. So take a breath, do some breathing exercise, just, long and heavy breaths, siguro mga 10 times, ganon. Para lang bumalik ka sa center, para bumalik yung internal balance mo. Kasi once you're overwhelmed, parang nayayanig yung mundo mo internally. It's actually, basta ganun, parang nagsishaken yung buong body mo. Kahit hindi mo siya actually nafe-feel, pero ganun yung nangyayari, kaya tayo nakaka-feel ng overwhelm. So, nawawalan tayo ng internal balance. So, let's go back to that balance. Take breaths. Kung nag-yoga ka or exercise ka, that's actually a good practice. If not, just take long, deep breaths, maybe 10 times, 5 times, ganon. Letter O, observe yourself. So, be aware of you. Ano ba talaga yung nafe-feel mo? Some of us actually nakaka-feel tayo ng physical symptoms. Like, ako, pag sobrang overwhelmed ko, I feel na nasusuka ako and sumasakit yung bato ko. So we have different ways na nagmamanifest yung overwhelm sa katawan natin or sa mind natin. Minsan nagiging toxic yung mind natin, nag-overthink na tayo, di ba? Not just na overwhelmed. Minsan, nagsispiral down na tayo sa overthinking train. So observe yourself. Observe what you're thinking about, how accurate or valid your thoughts are. So again, going back, using our wise mind. Kasi pag overwhelmed tayo, ang nagagamit lang natin ng mind natin is yung emotional. So nagiging irrational tayo, hindi na tayo nag-iisip talaga. It's always just our emotions. Yung feelings na lang yung nagde-decide for us, kumbaga. So observe what it is that you're going through and how valid they are. Since we're in that state of overwhelm, and again, we're just using our emotional mind, let's try to pull that other side, the logical mind, and see kung valid ba talaga yung nararamdaman natin. Or, yun nga, baka overwhelmed lang tayo. So we talk to yourself, you're just overwhelmed, that's why you feel this, and it's okay that you feel this now, pero this is temporary. So, ayun, again, whether decide or think about whether it is beneficial, kung ano man yung nararamdaman mo. If you're about to make a decision, talk using your logical mind, use that balance, punta ka sa center. Kasi, kunwari, ito yung emotional mind mo. Tapos, ito yung logical mind. So, yung emotional mind mo, yun na yung ginagamit mo. So, hilain mo siya gamit yung logical mind mo para pumalik ka sa state of balance. So, again, say stop, take a breath, observe yourself. Next one is, ito na pala yun, pull back and put in perspective. So, we evaluate the health of our thinking in light of our goals. So, yun, thinking about tama ba itong naiisip ko? Tama ba itong magiging decision ko? Kasi sometimes when we make decision, we feel overwhelmed as well. So, yun. But, pull into perspective, parang bird's eye view tayo, hindi tayo close view, kumbaga. Last one ng P is practice behaving how you want to be instead. The behavioral change or the aspects of the personal growth and improvement, parang responding to our life. Again, connected din to with the first few ones. So parang practicing what we want to behave. We want to be neutral. Gusto ba natin maging calm, kahit na-overwhelm tayo, pull yourself in that state na I want to behave as calm as I want to be. I want to discuss or tackle this issue tackle the issue that's making me overwhelmed as calm as I can be. So talk to yourself again, use your words, communicate with yourself the way you want it to be. Ayun. O, diba? Stop, basta yung stop pattern. Meron pa ba? I know kasi mental health is sometimes it becomes very very personal topic, 'di ba? So some of you might have questions that are not willing to share it with a lot of people. And that's okay. You can nandito ba yung yung message yung email ko. So you guys can drop me an email anytime. I'll share it na lang. And I can answer you when I can. I'm always online naman lagi yung email ko. So you guys can can ask me questions and I can try to help you if there's unclear part dito sa about mental health or your work as a freelancer. Meron pa? Wala na. Takas na ako sa
We
defense.
will send you an email, personal email, Daniel, for sure. Okay, so it looks like we've covered all. I think ang dami na share pa na extra tips ni Miss Daniel. So yeah, Daniel, on behalf of our company, More Staffing, we would like to express our gratitude for your willingness to take part of this learning session as our speaker. Very informative, very helpful, very now. It's really in time, di ba? Lalo sa mga nasa house lang talaga nag-work right now. So to show our gratitude, we'd like to present to you this certificate of appreciation. I'll just read for a bit. More Staffing LLC presents this certificate of appreciation to Danyel Draper for sharing her valuable knowledge and expertise in the More learning session titled Mental Health for Remote Workers, Balancing Productivity and Wellness in Today's Work Setup, given on the 10th of June 2022. From Laarne Guevara and Glyza Ilagan. So we will just send you the signed copy through email.
Thank you.
So yeah, there. Can we show the next slide, please?
Okay.
So thank you, everyone. So this is thank you for joining. We will still have our next session. It's entitled "Negotiate with Confidence: How to Negotiate Anything in Career, Life, and Businesses." So this is on June 24. So if you guys are interested, please don't forget to follow our social media sites, Facebook, More Staffing, Instagram, More Staffing LLC, and our website for further details on our upcoming learning sessions. Okay, so also please subscribe, like and subscribe. We have our YouTube channel just recently, so it's More Staffing. We will share more since we are more staffing. So thank you so much. And again, so we thank you for staying. We apologize for the delay. I hope you've learned a lot and it made up for a few minutes delay. All right. So Miss Daniel, thank you so much. I hope we can invite you again next time. Okay. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Art.
Thank you.
Bye.